Hey guys, it's Tyler and welcome back to Creator Side Income. This is going to be our November mailbag and gearing up for Christmas. We went a little crazy. We spent way over budget this month, over $900. But I thought I would do something a little different this month. I'm going to show you all the collection, everything I got this last month, and then you are going to decide what you think was the most expensive and the least expensive in this collection. Drop it in the comments and then we'll see how close you are. You can see if you can do the math ahead of time and figure out which ones cost the most. So let's flip this around and show you what we've got. All right, so we're starting over here. We got some just normal media thrift store kind of stuff. We got some metal lunch boxes. We got some toys, more toys. Then we got a movie poster, and there's another one behind there that we're gonna show later, and then a Sony Walkman. So that was the haul this month. It might not look like $1,000 worth of 80s stuff, but it is. So let's go through it one at a time now. Okay, so out of all that stuff, what do you think was the least expensive? It was the media. So just a couple fun CDs to add to the collection. We got an Enya, just a jewel case because I needed it, and a Christmas CD because it's Christmas time. Then I got one movie, Front of the Class. This is about a teacher who has Tourette's syndrome. It's a Hallmark based on a true story. It's a great movie. I think I already have it, but I saw it, so I got it because I'm a sucker. And the last one, this is for my book collection, but check this out. I wrote it. This is the author's copy. I have a box coming in the mail. I wrote this with my daughter, Sharon. It's for teachers to help them bring joy back into the classroom. It's really designed to help teachers with teacher burnout. I probably should drop a link in the description. I'll try to do that. I've worked on this for almost 4 years. This has been a long time coming, but we really buckled down this summer and worked hard on it. And I think it's an awesome book. I'm really excited about it. I've written a few other books in the past, and this I think is my best book I've ever written. I hope that it helps a lot of teachers out there or prospective teachers out there. Really proud of this one. So while it didn't cost much, I think the print cost was about $4 on this. I'm selling it for 12. And I'm really excited. I think this is going to help a lot of teachers out. So I'm really excited, even though it was the cheap stuff. All right. After that, what do you think? What next? It's the movie posters. Now, I love movie posters. And this is one thing where I thought this would be really cool to try to get a new movie poster every month. I'm going to try in 2026 to have a weekly long form video like this, as well as daily pack openings. And I thought it'd be cool if we were like focusing on packs from 1987 to have a movie from 1987. And so I'm starting to collect some of my favorites. And my kids just saw Willow for the first time this last year and they loved it. They thought it was as cool as I think it is. This was from 1988. And I just loved Mad Mardigan, the little brownies. We always say around the house, and my kids never knew why I always said, "We stole the baby." But that's something I've said for years and years, and now they know it's from Willow. There's a few other quotable lines in that movie. Just love it. One of my favorite movies from the 80s. I'd love to know your favorite movies from the 80s. If you were to get 80s movie posters, what would be your top 10 list? I'd love to know your top few movie posters. So that's one. Let me show you what's right behind it. Bo Jackson. Now, I have never pulled the 1990 score Bo Jackson with this iconic image on it, but you'll see coming up here soon of the new baseball cards, sports cards I got. I went ahead and got a graded copy of it because this is one of my favorite cards of all time. It brings back so many memories for me of collecting kids as a card. It is the iconic card. So now I have a poster to go with it. I have a graded, and hopefully in 2026, I pull the card out of a pack. That's something I totally want to do. That's one of my quests for this next year. So really excited about that. So 2 killer movie posters this month. I forgot to tell you on the media. So for all the media, $10. That was the cheapest category. Movie posters was next. I only got 2 movie posters. They were about $25 each. So $50 on movie posters. What do you think's the next? If I had to break it into little lots, what's next? Surprising to me, it was the lunchboxes. These are metal lunchboxes from 1976 to 1983. Let me take you through them one at a time. The cheapest of these lunchboxes was the G.I. Joe, which actually I think might be the coolest one. This was $24, and there are a lot of these on eBay. So if you want one, it's easy to find one under 30 bucks. If you're patient, you can probably get one under 20 bucks. I don't really care about the thermoses inside. We've got just this iconic image on the front, tank on the back, some characters on the sides, and this was made in 1982 by Hasbro. Now, why am I getting metal lunchboxes? One, because I think they're really cool. When I was younger, I saw there was an old museum, like toy museum, and they had a whole room of lunchboxes, and I thought this was the coolest thing ever. And I've had my Thundercats lunchbox for a long time. But one of the things that I thought recently was, you know what would be cool? I could get a lunchbox and then get toys that fit in the lunchbox, and then I would save on space. So I don't have any G.I. Joes yet, but now I have a place to put my G.I. Joes when I get them, which is really cool. For just a few dollars more, you can get some Popples, and I actually got my first Popples this year. Popples were a stuffed animal in the early 80s where you stuffed them inside themselves. I'll show you that in a minute, but they also had a cartoon. So there's the image on the front and the back. Not in great shape. I probably should have been more patient on this one. I bet you can get one of these for 15 bucks. I bet it's even cheaper than G.I. Joe because this wasn't a huge thing in the 80s. And they have a few different designs of Popples, but I thought this was pretty cool. The next is this 1977 Star Wars, and I was surprised this was affordable. It's because they produced so many of these. So even though it's from the original Star Wars, and it's 1977, let me show you. 1977 by Aladdin, I assume. Oh, nope. King M.U.S.C.L.E. So this is by King M.U.S.C.L.E. Most of the lunchboxes are by Aladdin, but this one's by King M.U.S.C.L.E. $34, and it didn't come with the thermos, but it does have cool images on the side, the back, and I think you could pick one of these up for about the same price. So $30 to $40 range. Mine's a little beat up, and I don't care. These are just going up in my office. I think they're awesome pieces. It looks great. The most expensive one has a broken handle, but if that makes it affordable for me at $37, I'll take it. This one's also from the 70s, 1976 for the Super Friends. So we've got the Flash, Batwoman, Green Lantern, Catwoman, the Riddler, the Joker. We've got Hawkman, Aquaman, Green Lantern. Oh, if that's Green Lantern, then that's probably the Green Arrow. Green Arrow. And then we've got Batman, Supergirl, Robin. Here on the back, we've got the three most iconic: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and then Robin. So these were all from the comics. Obviously, this was before most of the DC movies were made. And the comics were big at this time in the 70s. I was surprised that this one was under $50. I think because it had some wear, but this one actually did come with the thermos. So we've got a little bit of a thermos there with Wonder Woman on it. Pretty beat up on the inside, a lot of rust, but again, cool display piece. And I can, once I get some of the, I know there's early 80s action figures of DC Comics that I had when I was a kid, so I want to get some and I want to put them in here. I want to get some Star Wars figures and put them in here. G.I. Joes and put them in here. And I already got my Popple. So combined price for all these lunchboxes was about $125, which I think is pretty cool because I can put these on display now and then I can use them to store things. So pretty awesome for me. All right, here's what we've got left. Sports cards, more toys, another toy, and a Walkman. And it's the sports cards that are the next cheapest. As you know, I collect my alma mater, BYU, for basketball and football. So we got some Yegor Demon. He's doing pretty good right now as a rookie in the NBA. So we pulled up some autograph cards for him. Pulled an old Steve Young. This was only $7. So it's not verified or anything, but it looked like his other autos. It's pretty cool. It's still going up in display. And then here's that bow that's been graded. This was only $27 for this in a PSA 8. I think I got a pretty good deal on it. And then with all the rest of the cards, these were actually almost between $40 and $50 each. So combined total of all these was close to $200, but individually they weren't too bad. Now we want to go through all the toys, and this was a mixed bag for me. Let me show you the cheapest one first, and that's my basketball Popple that will go into my lunchbox. It just looks like a basketball, but then you can pull it out here, and it's cute little figure. I was surprised. So I got this guy for $17. I probably could have got him for under 10 if I was a little bit more patient. There's a bunch of different styles. They did go through a sports phase. This one was made in 1986, but I think they started even before that. And so the original Popples, you know, you're looking in the $10 to $30 range for each of these. So you could have a whole collection for a pretty reasonable amount. I think they're pretty cool. You know, it's just a cute little figure. They had a cartoon, which I don't know if I've ever seen the cartoon. I remember it being around, but it was like for younger kids, so I never watched it. But this was a pretty cool pickup. Now, next in my toy lot were these M.U.S.C.L.E, M.U.S.C.L.E, which stands for something, but I don't know what it was. These also came out in the mid-'80s. I think I got scammed. I don't think these are actual real. Every single one of them has like a black foot, and while they have the like copyright from the molds, I think somebody just made a mold and made all these, because even the garbage can, they came in a garbage can like this, but it's not branded or anything, and it says made in Japan. I know the Muscleman originally came from a Japan toy, so maybe this is real, but I feel like this is kind of a knockoff. I did get all the Musclemen for $40, which at the time I thought that's an okay deal. I've been watching these on eBay for a long time, and you can get some from the 80s, the original ones, in package for, you know, a 4-pack for about 40 or 50 bucks. But I wanted to get a bigger lot, and I remember having the little garbage can. I think I got taken. So that happens sometimes on eBay. I should have looked more carefully. But they're still nostalgic and bring back a lot of memories. I'm still going to put these up on display. They're pretty cool. And then for just a few bucks more, we got this He-Man lot. Let me show you what we've got. We have this little carrier that actually kind of spins as you roll. Let me show you. And I think this was for bad guys, so I have to put a bad guy in it. And if you're going to put a bad guy in it, the ultimate bad guy is Skeletor. But even the best Skeletor is the battle armor Skeletor, where if you hit him, you get a little gash / mark. Hit him again and get another one. It's awesome. And I had this Skeletor when I was a kid. I collected He-Mans as a kid because it was the poor man's collectible. If you didn't have a lot of money, you did G.I. Joes, Star Wars, and He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Those were the collections that most kids had. If you had a little bit more money, then you did Transformers and Thundercats. But I had some MOTU or Masters of the Universe, so pretty cool to pick up Skeletor. And this guy with a fist, I don't know his name, but it does have that battle action where you kind of... We've also got this guy that you can pop his head off, fill it with water, and then squirt it out like this. But I don't have any water in there, so I can't show you. Then we've got Orko, who I think he hung out with He-Man, but I think this was a She-Ra character, which came out a year or two after He-Man started. And I actually had this Orko. It has a space on the side where you'd put a cord through it, and you'd pull it out, and it would spin around. But this one's broken. That's what happens when you get a lot. Orko's an easy character to get. Then we have Prince Adam and Battle Armor He-Man. So I'm good to go. We've got all the He-Mans. I have enough now that I could do a display up on one of my shelves. The total cost for these He-Mans was $48 for this lot, which I think was a pretty reasonable deal, especially because it came with a vehicle. He-Mans aren't real expensive. If you want to get into collecting old toys, this is not a bad one to start with because you can get action figures for $5 to $15. If you're going to get it loose and don't have to have all the armor and stuff. Mine actually did come with a few accessories, which is cool, but if you're just going to get the base figure loose, it's a lot cheaper if you don't have to get these. All right, so now we're down to the final two. Which do you think was more expensive, the Walkman or the My Pet Monster? Well, I'll tell you, My Pet Monster cost a lot more than I expected, but I held on, I waited for a while, and I got this one right at $100. It doesn't come with the chains on his wrist, and it is in pretty bad shape. It's got a tear here, and it's hanging loose. I never had this when I was a kid. Most of my friends didn't. We were a little old for these toys, but it was really popular. I remember the commercials, and I was shocked because I never knew anyone that had it. When it came in the mail, it was a lot bigger than I expected. See how we're like same size? It's a big stuffed animal, and it's pretty hefty too. I think it looks cool. I'm excited to have it in here somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to put him yet, but now I have a pet monster. $105. So that leaves me with the most expensive item from this last month, the Sony Walkman. This was not the original. The original came in 1977 or 78, and that's the one on Guardians of the Galaxy. I eventually want to get that, but it is not cheap. This one wasn't either, but this is another iconic one because while it was just the third or fourth model, it is the one that they made a whole commercial campaign for because it does something that other Walkmans can't do. Let me show you. So first, it's huge. Let me get another Walkman for comparison. All right, so this is a normal 1991-ish Walkman. This is 1981. See the difference? Huge difference in size. Looks the same when you hold it like this. Oh, this one's bigger. Can't believe it. No, it's not. So it's a lot bigger. You can eject the cassette simply by hitting the top. It's got a volume knob here on the top. It's got just your normal play, fast forward, rewind. And this is a working, I put batteries in it, and it works. See how the power's on here? It has a switch from normal to metal. I don't know what that does, but here's what makes this unique. One is you can actually plug this into the wall. It doesn't come with the DC adapter, but you can put one of those old DC adapters in so you don't have to run down your batteries and just plug it into the wall. But you notice it has 2 headphone jacks. And that's not because you have one for each ear. That's because 2 people can listen to this at the same time. This was meant to be shared. So you would go out in public and I would have my headphones in it. Someone else would have their headphones and we could listen to our cassette or the radio. So it has an FM radio on this. No, it doesn't. I take that back. There is no radio on this. I had only put cassettes in. I had never even experimented. It does have a belt clip on the back and it plays cassettes and that's it. But the sound quality is good. It still works. And the price on this, what do you think it is? Put your guess in the comments. I'm really curious what you think an old Walkman. For comparison, this from the 90s, 30 bucks. And I have a few of these from the 90s. I'm starting to collect Walkmans. I think they're super cool. It was an important part of my teenage years in the 90s. But this 1981 iconic Walkman, what do you think it cost? $385. So pretty penny for this. I definitely splurged on it, but I think it's super cool. I'm excited to have it up on display with my other Walkmans. And it did come, part of the reason it costs a little bit more is it did come with the original box. It's got kind of the headphones. The foam parts were ripped off, but they do work. I have better headphones, so I won't use these. And the original instructions. So that was my collection, my mailbag for November. It was really fun getting all these things. I'm going to scale back in December. I do have a few things ordered, but with Christmas and everything, I'm really focusing on the kids and not on my own toys. It's weird to be an adult man buying toys, but I love it. It is so fun to get these, to have them on display in here. My kids come and hang out with me, and especially my older kids, they just think it's awesome, and they're getting into vintage stuff and old collections. So it's been a fun little pastime for me. Let me know what you thought of this kind of style for mailbag, kind of like teasing the prices and things like that. I think this is a format that's fun for me, and I definitely love doing the show and tell because this is how I keep track. I also wanted just to show you my shelves. I know I just did a walkthrough a few weeks ago, but we've changed the look here of the shelves a little bit. See how I opened up some baseball cards and put them in the middle shelf there? So I think that's really, really cool. And we'll do that same thing here on the other side, and then I'm going to put some of these new collections in. So I'm really excited to see how it looks for December. This is going to be a fun office to hang out in for the next month. Since I do a lot of my work from here, I love it. All right, that's it for now. Have a wonderful month, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.